what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it.
The biggest news that we're going to get to here today, Garrett Nussmeier coming back as the LSU quarterback. And some people assumed, we believed maybe he would, but you look at the draft boards and he's pretty high on a lot of people's lists. So we'll react to it, but here's the video that Garrett Nussmeier put out yesterday telling everyone he was coming back for another year.
Proverbs 30 verse 5 says that every word of God is flawless, and he's a shield to those who take refuge in him. He has blessed me with an amazing family, circle of support, and the ability to allow me to live out my dream. The fact that I am even in a position to make this type of announcement is truly a testament to his true glory and love. Philippians 4:13 says that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. When you put your mind, body, and soul into him, the sky's the limit for anyone. No dream is impossible with him on your side. Proverbs 16:9 says that the heart of a man plans his way, but the Lord establishes his steps. Since a young kid, all I have ever wanted was to grow up and play in the NFL. God brought me to LSU for a reason. I had to observe and trust in his timing and his plan for me time and time again. I stayed at LSU because of that reason. And again, I feel like my time at LSU is not over. I am officially announcing that I am returning for my final year of eligibility, and I am fully committed to bringing this university a championship. My teammates, coaches, and the fans will get the absolute best out of me every single day until we complete that goal. Go Tigers.
We're taking receipts, and we'll see you at the national championship.
Garrett Nussmeier to the end zone. Touchdown!
Shuffle pass. Xavier Thomas. House call.
Nussmeier hands it off. Good seam to the left. Got around the corner. Well, touchdown! Thrown a touchdown to Trey Green.
Slings it downfield. One-on-one, looking for the ball. Chris Hilton makes the grab.
Kyle Parker. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers.
All right, and there it is again. Garrett Nussmeier coming back for his last year of eligibility here at LSU. And there's a lot of people that have a lot to say about it, a lot of positive stuff. And if you're in the negative camp, well, I'll sit down and I'll watch football with you any day of the week, and we can have a conversation on why this is a massive deal for LSU. Garrett Nussmeier threw for the 6th most yards in the country a year ago, 26 touchdowns. I know the 11 interceptions. When you look at some of those, obviously, some are things that Garrett has to have back, and some were just dictated by the way the game was going, lack of run game, some of those situations. But this is a massive deal. There's no way that you can be an LSU football fan and not be excited about Garrett Nussmeier coming back for another year. You don't now have to panic and go into the portal and try to find somebody you think might help you. Garrett Nussmeier can help you, right? You look at in the SEC, he was 2nd in passing yards, right? You're getting big-time production coming back. You're looking at a quarterback that had a 140 quarterback rating. You're looking at somebody that was in his first year as a starter. And I know it's a thing that we all do, but when you look at other guys, even Heisman Trophy winners here in Baton Rouge, their first year, it didn't look as good as Garrett Nussmeier's first year. Allow him the chance to go through those first-year growing pains. They weren't real painful. He had a lot of great moments, actually, his first year starting at LSU. And so I'm fired up about this. I think it's a big deal. I think it puts LSU in a completely different situation than if he would have gone to the NFL draft, where guys like Mel Kiper Jr. had him as the 4th overall quarterback in this draft. And so I think he's even passed up some guys, talking to different people that I know throughout the NFL. He's passed up guys like Carson Beck. There's a lot of people that like him better than Quinn Ewers. So he was going to have an opportunity to maybe even go down to Mobile and play himself into, who knows, right? 2nd round, into the 1st round quarterback. So he had a decision to make here. He makes the decision to come back to LSU. And Tay, I know you've got some thoughts on Garrett Nussmeier coming back as well.
I'm glad you pointed it out, Jake, that look at the two. Look, anytime you follow 2 Heisman winners, it's very hard, right? And it's human nature for us to say, oh, well, look how big of a step down he is from Joe Burrow. Look how big of a step down he is from Jaden Daniels. Jake, you look at his first-year numbers, and I'm not saying he's better than Daniels and Burrow. They're the 2 best players to ever play at this university, obviously. His numbers are better, though. I mean, across the board, completion percentage, yards, touchdowns, they're all better. I mean, sure, Jaden had 11 rushing touchdowns his first year. That's an element he added that nobody else could. But there were so many people after that South Carolina game say, look how bad he struggled. He threw this interception, and if the block in the back penalty wasn't called, South Carolina loses that game. Burrow and Daniels never would have done that. Burrow was pretty average in the SEC his first year. Jaden Daniels' first SEC road game was against Auburn. He was 8 for 20 for 80 yards. Being a first-year starting quarterback in the SEC is very hard. And then now that Nussmeier is coming back, Jake, can I interest you in Fernando Mendoza? You want him as the starting quarterback next year?
Yeah, from Cal.
Malik Murphy, Miller Moss, Jackson Arnold, Caden Salter. That's probably one of those guys you were going to go get if Garrett Nussmeier doesn't come back. I've read so many negative comments of people being like, great, I wonder how many games he's going to lose this year. Find me a kid on LSU's roster or in the transfer portal that is better than Garrett Nussmeier. You're not going to do it. I mean, this is huge. This is the biggest offseason news we're going to get.
Yeah, you look at the quarterbacks that were ahead of him in passing yards. I mean, you're talking about Jackson Dart, Shadir Sanders, Cam Ward, Kyle McCord. So you're talking about, really, really good quarterbacks. I mean, you got a Heisman finalist in there. Shadir Sanders and Cam Ward probably 1-2 as far as quarterbacks off the board in this upcoming NFL draft. And so, no, this is massive news. And when I see the negative stuff, it really is, and I'm going to sound like such an old man, it usually is from, younger LSU fans that only know, or not only know, but they know, well, Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels. Like, look, I mean, you're talking about 2 top 5 quarterback seasons maybe ever. I mean, according to QBR, they are both top 5 quarterback seasons ever. Joe's is probably number 1. Jaden's isn't far off of it. And you can have the debate and where those fall. But it wasn't in their first years. What we keep going back to. There's going to be some real growth for Garrett Nussmeier. Now, I know some people inside the Bayou 4 chat also talking about the lack of running ability. A lot of people have given themselves over to only being able to win with a dual threat quarterback. He's not going to ever be what we saw with Jaden Daniels, where against a team like Florida, he can pull it down and go 75 yards. It's never going to be that. But that's okay. Can he give you what Matt Flynn gave you in 2007? Can he give you the times that Joe did in 2019? Can he get close to that? Because there was times with their legs that they were out there and they won games for you. Maybe it was off one scramble. Maybe it was off one time they stepped up in the pocket. He does need to, improve in that area. There was times where you would like to see him maybe tuck it and run. He started to do it a little bit at the end of the year, but you can win a championship without a dual threat quarterback. Does it look different? Absolutely, it does. You got to get if you're not going to have the dual threat quarterback, you got to get the run game more consistent. We saw flashes, but not nearly enough. You've got a talented running back room. As far as talent, I mean, you could stack it up with whoever you want to. I mean, you've got Caden Durham coming back, who's a freshman All-American, and you've got true bona fide 5-star running backs that are coming in as well. And we'll see what happens with Caleb Jackson. Can you get the offensive line on the same page? Can you figure out the running game philosophy that you want to go out there and be more successful with? A lot of north-south this year. Didn't have a lot of success when you went north-south. You did when you went east and west. You might not like that, but that's where you were better at. Can you play to your strengths better in the run game? You got to go get some tight ends. You got to go get some blocking tight ends. You got to go get a Y. And we talk about Ys and Fs all the time here, right? A Y is a little bit more athletic of a tackle. We like to call those a yackle, all right? You need one of those. You need some Fs. Fs is your modern-day tight end. Your Travis Kelce's, Antonio Gates, from years ago. Like, those are Fs. They line up in the slot. Sure, they can do some Y-like things, but they're never going to be confused for a Y. Mason Taylor kind of fell into that category here. You got to go get like 2 or 3 tight ends, and you got to go get one that's a mauler in the run game. So there's things that you still have to work on. It is not all sunshine and rainbows here. But getting Garrett Nussmeier back, is massive for LSU if they have any hopes of going to play for an SEC championship and trying to get into the college football playoff.
Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, Again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.